Shut up and sit down. And sit down.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the 360 Sports Show. We are coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can reach us anytime in the comment sections of those live streams to bring your questions, comments, concerns, general griping here to the show. I am Andrew Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber, and we are going to jump right on in and talk about the NBA Finals to start. Christian, when we last spoke, the series was 1-1, and we were talking about what have we learned. The next three games have played out, games 3, 4, and 5. What have we learned now through 5 games of this NBA Finals?
One team has been here, and one team continues to just absolutely throw up on themselves. Warriors look primed to win the NBA Finals. This obviously is not really that surprising, I guess, when you consider their track record here. But yeah, I'll go right to the Celtics because I think that's just the bigger story from my standpoint. I don't think the Warriors are doing anything that Miami couldn't do, that Milwaukee couldn't do, maybe with the exception of making shots on the offensive end. Defensively, I think Andrew Wiggins is a good defensive player. He is not all time. And so for me, it's about the Celtics. Just you come out in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, where you've done it all year on the road or all postseason on the road, and just lay an absolute egg. The third quarter is what it is, but outside of that, they got blown out. And to be quite honest, I don't think the Celtics have played a really good game this series, which is pretty disappointing because I think at their ceiling, they are just as good, if not the best team in the NBA when they play at their ceiling, but they just cannot get out of their own way with the turnovers, the bitching to the officials about the officials, missing wide open shots constantly, getting out of their game, maybe taking too many jump shots as opposed to going to the rim like the Warriors are doing. Steph Curry didn't hit a three for the first time in what feels like his whole entire life, and you got blown out. So that to me signals game over. And yes, you're coming back home, but they haven't done it at home either. So I'm writing the ship. I think it's over, but to me, it's about the Celtics and just their lack of I don't know what lack of detail. I don't know what you want to call it. They're just not good enough in this series.
Colin in the comment section says it just like you said, Christian. He says, I'm like Bill Paxton and Aliens right now. Game over, man. Game over. Yeah, I mean, it's what did I say after games 1 and 2? I said, this is clearly more about the Celtics than it is the Warriors. The Celtics
are a good team. Don't.
Oh, exactly. But who's going to win this is going to be, I looked at it like the Warriors have shown what they are. The Warriors have consistently been the same team in every single game. Now, obviously, Steph Curry has a great Game 4. I don't know how far back we want to go. I say this discussion should be about the final 5 minutes of Game 4 and Game 5. Because this whole Celtics run has been bouncing back after every big loss, whether it's at home, whether it's on the road. That next game, they've shown up. They were, 7-0 following a loss? So now they've lost back-to-back games in the first time in this playoff run. And that's kind of spoken to, like the fact that the semifinals and the conference finals went 7 games was because of their inconsistency. And it's like being a procrastinator in school and just always turning in the paper late or writing it the morning of, and I got a B. I got an A-. You never get an F. And you never really had to pay. And so I think the Celtics they've kind of been able to have these lapses and just fall back on their own resiliency and what they've had to do. I mean, outside of the Nets, where they really put their foot on the throat of that team, they've kind of just like had to go the distance with teams when they really didn't need to, and they got away with it. And now you're playing a team that the Warriors have been consistent with their effort every single night. It's been somebody different. Steph has had some big games. You know, Draymond left his fingerprints all over Game 2 and kind of got you out of your game. Last night in Game 5, it's Andrew Wiggins who has the huge game. Steph Curry has the huge game in Game 4. But as a team, offense, defense, what they're bringing has been consistent. The Celtics have not played 4 quarters yet in these finals. And that's what's frustrating and maddening, is because, as you said, when they're at their best, they are the best team in the league. This series is tied 2-2 because the Celtics had just these insanely dominant... The end of Game 1 was historic. No team had ever done that. And it's like, they do that. They show that. And it's like, can we just bottle that up?
They did it last night. They hit about 7 or 8 threes in a row.
The third quarter. Like, you should have gotten blown off the floor by 20-something points last night. And you were trending your way towards never being able to overcome a historically bad start. Yet, you took a lead in the third quarter. Because you show that when you just play with that intensity and intention on the offensive end, the defense has kind of been... Defensively, I think they've been okay, if not good. And then they show the great defense this whole series. I don't have any problems with their defense. Steph Curry, Game 4, was throwing up 40-footer, and with guys draped on him, and you just tip the cap, right? No one on the Celtics has had a game yet.
It's not like the Warriors are scoring 140.
Exactly.
Game.
No one on the Celtics has risen up and been the guy to have a signature performance and win a game. They were going to need it in Game 5 and didn't get it. Now your backs are against the wall. Who's going to rise up? Is it going to be Tatum, who's just been trending down every single series, whether that's injury, fatigue, mentality? I mean,
I thought Tatum was pretty good last night, except for the fourth quarter.
Well, exactly. Well,
first quarter and fourth quarter, but there you go.
But that's what it is. It's all about consistency. No player or the team as a whole has put together 4 good quarters. They have like an okay quarter, a putrid quarter, a great quarter, and then an okay quarter. And that's how you're down 3-2. And if it wasn't for like an elite quarter here or there, this thing's probably already done. So what does that tell us? The Celtics are more than capable of winning 2 games in a row and winning this series.
No. Are
they capable of it right now? Are they going to play 4 full quarters in Boston in front of their home crowd facing elimination? I honestly have my doubts. I said to you before the show, this team has sucked the positivity out of me. Because they could come out and get up 20 points in the first quarter, and I'd honestly say, I don't like this. This team, I think, every time we think they figured it out, they just revert back in spurts. It's so frustrating. That's it. It's frustrating. They should win. They should have won. I think if they just played consistently, the Celtics could have won this series. I think more likely than now, they're going to lose it. And we'll discuss if and when that happens, whether or not that maybe is a good thing for them long term.
To be fair, I said Warriors in 6 or 7.
Oh, yeah. 6 or 7. You really laid it out there, Christian. You really
Okay, well, let me ask you something. Are the Warriors going to win in 6 or 7?
Yes. And I said Celtics in 7, so that's still on the table, Christian. So let's not... Don't start thumping your chest just yet.
Let's not give ourselves let's not. You're giving yourself too much hope. You got to be like me. You just got to be like, it's over, and that way.
Well, the thing is, this is the first time I felt after Game 4. Steph stole the show, and I was hopeful for it to be up 3-1. But I said, you know what? It's 2-2. It's 2-2. No one's really wrestled control of this thing. The Celtics had an opportunity, but it's 2-2. You've been a great road team. You could go out and steal another one in Golden State and put yourself back in the driver's seat. This team, between the last 5 minutes of the Game 4 and what I saw in Game 5, they've stolen the positivity away from me. I think it's over tomorrow. Can they win? Can they find a way to force a Game 7? Absolutely. Could Tatum or Brown rise to the occasion and have a monster game? They can, but for the first time right now in these playoffs, I doubt it. I don't think it's going to happen.
Closer Clay. You get Game 6 Clay tomorrow, so he's going to go for 40 probably.
And that's the thing, is you bottled up Steph last game, and then you let Andrew Wiggins just do whatever he wanted.
Punk you.
So they're just not they haven't gotten enough from their bench. And I mean, I don't know.
Their bench, let's just do a minute on this, has been terrible all series. I think that's fair to say, with the exception of they came in and hit shots in Game 1, but I probably could have came in and hit a shot that night because they couldn't miss. So with the exception of that, Pritchard, minus player. Grant Williams, big minus player. He has not done much in this series at all.
The last two
big
series.
Disappointment. Yeah, big disappointment with Grant Williams. And Derek White, the last 2 games, minus player. Not good at all. So when you have 5 guys, 4, whatever, with Robert Williams hobbled, I'll tell you what, they look tired and they look gassed. And they look kind of defeated, which at this point in the season, I can't say it's that surprising, especially when I feel like Milwaukee should have been over in at least maybe 6, and Miami should have been done in 5. And then you're looking at, instead of going 7-7, 4-7-7, that's like 2 or 3 less games, 4 extra days rest, whatever it might be. That comes back to hurt you because of your inconsistency. So here you are now, because it wasn't, you weren't staring in the face of Kevin Durant, Kyrie every game, or whatever the hell the situation was in Milwaukee and Miami. Here you are now going to Game 6 again, gassed out. Tatum and Brown especially, they're playing 40 minutes a night for the last, 2 months?
Yeah.
Those guys are probably gassed, and they're not getting a lot of help right now. And I think Jaylen Brown last night was not good. He was like 5 of 18. Tatum was the best player in quarters 2 and 3, but outside of that, the best player on the floor was Wiggins by far. Then you probably go Clay and even Curry. He didn't hit a 3,
but he hit big shots. Like the shots he made, they were like little backbreakers. It was like Celtics cut it to 5. He makes a and 1, scoop shot going down the lane.
If I'm the Warriors, though, Steph went 0 for 9 from 3 last night, and you won going away. There's no way you can lose this series now.
No. Well, that's just what I'm saying, is like the opportunities, like the odds of it now. It's like, I do think it will go 7, only because this team, having been so resilient all year, not losing back-to-back games in the postseason, and you're going to drop 3 games in a row. Ugh, that's just such a crash landing. Like, I don't know, Christian, answer me this. I don't know how much breaking down of Game 6 we need to do, because at this point, it's simple. Don't turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. Move the ball on offense. Mm-hmm. And just pay attention to Curry. Try and just limit him. And you know what? If you go down because Andrew Wiggins is hitting 3s, so be it. I really don't think it's all that complicated right now.
No.
I don't think there's anything else to really say as far as what has to happen in Game 6. You have to play well for 4 quarters. That's it.
You have to not turn the ball over. That has been their success or demise all postseason. That's just factual at this point. That's all statistics is plus 16 turnovers. They're like 0-92. Put a stat on it, whatever number you want. If they turn the ball over a ton like they have the last few games, they're going to lose. There's just no way you can overcome that, especially because unlike Miami, for the most part, Miami and Milwaukee, Golden State will hit shots if you leave them open. Curry can hit it from 40 feet. Jordan Poole, who has not been anywhere in this series, has been invisible except for 2 shots from half court. And then Wiggins is doing what he's doing. And Clay's going to hit open shots if you give them to him. So unlike those other teams, they're hitting open shots. Even Gary Payton, like, it's just maddening. You turn the ball over, they get a 3. You turn the ball over, they hit a 3. And it's just on and on it goes. You cannot do that with this team. I don't think the Warriors, statistically, they're a very good defensive team. I don't think they're as good as the Celtics make them look like. Same with Miami and Milwaukee. I just refuse to believe that. The passing, the driving kick to the opposite team is just, it's maddening to watch. Turnovers are the huge key.
Do you think
that's all there that I need to say?
I mean, the only thing I like nitpick and wonder about, in the Celtics' size has shown itself with offensive rebounding. Like Robert Williams, when he's in there, makes a difference on the glass. Al Horford has made a difference on the offensive glass. But I feel like they should be doing more when the game gets tight, right? We're up 5. Curry hits a 3, 2-point game, and you're slow. Instead of running with pace and wanting to keep the lane open and get like Tatum and Brown and Smart downhill, I get it. But like every now and again, why are we not posting up Al Horford? Is he just gassed? Does he just not have it in the tank?
He's not much of a post guy. He's too old at this point.
Well, but
I've seen enough of him in the post. I'll be honest.
But I mean, but even when there's mismatches.
How many times have I seen?
Or how many times is this? Him or Smart or any of these guys, it's like they're too committed to the play, and they get the ball, they cut, they receive a pass, and they're 2 feet from the rim. And it's like you have Jordan Poole or Gary Payton or Steph Curry on you, and you've got 5 inches or 50 pounds on them, and you're right at the rim. You've succeeded. That's the point of a play, is to get that close. And then you just kick it back out.
There's always another guy there, though. Whenever they get into a mismatch situation like that, I've seen it tons of times now. Al Horford gets in the post against Steph Curry. Okay, go up with it, Al. And then a double teams comes and he tries to hang on for it too long.
But that's what I'm saying. It has to be decisive. I mean, guys are either too committed to the play or they're indecisive. If you get 2 feet from the rim and you have a small on you, go up. Like, so many times in end of game 4 and again in the fourth quarter last night, they were just hunting difficult shots. It's like, there's no successful play that takes 20 seconds to run, right? So the average play you drop in a huddle is between 5 and 6 seconds. So a lot of the times they're running the clock down and then they run a play and everybody knows what you're running, but like, I don't know. It's just, there's times there where they just don't take the simple things when they're available.
Yep.
And
to be honest with you, I'm over it. I'm ready for the depth of hell that is no sports except for baseball, and I'm ready to get.
We could talk about the LIV golf league tournament.
That's like the AFL.
So because we won't know, before we take to the air next, this series will be over one way or another. If the Celtics lose this, is it honestly going to be a good thing for their further development, or is losing this more of a gut punch and it'll do more harm than good? Obviously, you want to win. You're here. You don't know how often you're going to get back, but in terms of them figuring some things out mentally, they're young guys who aren't even in their primes yet. Smart's getting close to what we would consider his prime. But Tatum and Brown specifically, do they need to lose this and look at it and say that this is how you have to play to win a championship? It's going to be hard. You have to play through things. Look at what the Warriors did. They didn't have the better team, but they were the more consistent team in a championship setting. Are those lessons learnable for them and necessary?
Yes and no. Like, you're right here. I think you're the better team. You probably should have won this series. Now you're going to probably lose in 6. Disappointment for sure. The only thing I'll say is who knows what the health of any of these guys are going to be next season. They're playing late into June here now. You got less time off. Uh, so the only thing I worry about, at least from an organization standpoint of the Celtics, is who knows if these guys are going to be here if they get back here again. When they get back here again, if they get back here again. So I think it's good in a way that you reach the finals and you're right there, but also these chances are not. It's not. You're not going to be the Warriors. You're not going to be there every single year. So it's just. I feel like it's a missed opportunity, and you can take something from it if that makes sense. It's a little bit of both. I think it's a disappointment if you, especially if you lose in just 6 games. I mean, it's just that's rough, especially going into these guys. I mean, look, Jalen and Jason are still here for another year too. But those contracts come up, man. I don't know. LA's looking nice out there. It's nice and warm. It's sunny. I don't know.
Let's not start doing that. Comment section. Colin says Jaylen Brown is my favorite Celtic, but man, he sucked last night. Flat-footed, poor passing, terrible shot selection, couldn't handle the ball for crap. It was lucky he didn't have 8 turnovers. They aren't capable of it right now mentally. They're whack at the moment. Their bench missed the flight as well.
Their best bench missed a couple flights. They missed the one back to Boston, and they also missed the one back to California.
Here's what's scary, is that who do you think has scored more points in the fourth quarter of the finals, the last 2 games? Jason Tatum or Luke Cornett?
Yeah, Luke Cornett, yeah.
That's bad.
One thing I do think, I agree with Colin, and this has kind of been a theme throughout this series, and to be honest, this postseason I've noticed it more than the regular season. If there's one thing Jaylen Brown can work on this offseason, it's got to be handling the ball. I mean,
he had made so much stride though. Like I don't know what he's regressed. He has regressed.
If you turn him inside out and make him go left, he's just a different guy. He cannot go to his left, and Van Gundy loves to point it out, which I could do without the verbal diarrhea that is Jeff Van Gundy this series. But he does have a point with Jaylen Brown. You cannot let him go to his right because he's just going to overpower you and get to the basket. You make him go left, stick your hand in there and swat that ball, it's there for the taking, and he does it a lot. Tatum, the other thing I'll say about Tatum is I don't think Tatum has been as poor as people are saying. Like, people want to run him out of town now because he's having a bad series. I don't think he's been that bad. The fourth quarters are an issue. And another thing that's kind of bugging me is I think he's making the right basketball play, quote unquote, that Scal would say on the broadcast, a little too much. I think he's a little too happy about, okay, I can't do much here. I'm just going to kick out. And he kind of like, he sees the play. Maybe this is a little bit of what you were talking about with sticking to the play too much. I feel like Tatum should just go to the basket, and instead of looking for a foul or getting hit on the arm and looking for a foul, he should be able to do it similar to what Andrew Wiggins. And maybe
play like it's the streets, man. There's no fouls coming. Go figure out how to put it in.
Maybe there's some growth there to be had, and I think he can get there. But it's a mentality thing. Just go up and go strong instead of looking for the foul.
He's been so off, though. I mean, you look at his scoring averages. They've dropped every single series. I don't know if that's fatigue. Just this is the deepest they've played. And as you said, all the extra games. Sure. How much the injury has played a part, but especially this series.
Yeah.
I mean, he has not looked right at all.
I mean, he hasn't had a premier moment.
He's making plays. I'll give him credit for not just being a complete no-show, because, I'm not scoring, so I'm just not doing anything else. He has rebounded well. I think he has defended well. He's passed well. His assist numbers have been good. But the turnovers and the inefficient scoring has been
shooting
has been bad. That being said, if you're going down tomorrow, I need him and Jalen each taking 30 shots. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. There's a little bit too much. I feel like it's like one of these things where Tatum overpasses now instead of there's a balance. Which, I'm not gonna have a gripe with that, because I think most of the time he's making the right play, with the exception of the turnovers. But I will say, getting distracted by the Twitch chat. I don't know. But I will say, I think I do not think Tatum has been bad by any means. I just don't think he's been anywhere near bad. But he has he hasn't had a real premier moment since Game 6 of Milwaukee, if memory serves. He's had some decent games where he's in the high 20s, but not anything like he hasn't had that moment since Game 6 where Tatum's walking into Milwaukee tonight, Game 6 where you got to have it, and he's going to drop 40 on your head. And he did. But since then, he's had some good nights, not great ones, not superstar like Curry dropping 40 or Butler dropping 40 or one of those games since Milwaukee of Game 6.
I'm going to pull it up right now, his game log. So let's see. Points. So this is the series. So, I mean, against the Nets, Tatum was unbelievable. I mean, 31 points in Game 1, only 19 points in Game 2, 39 in Game 3, 29 in Game 4. Then versus Milwaukee, 21, 29, 10, 30, 34, 46 in the elimination game, Game 6 in Milwaukee, bringing it back to Boston. I mean, he was just fantastic that game. Basically 50% from 3, 50% from the field, 53% from the field, 46% from 3. That's really, really good. Only got to the free throw line 7 times, which isn't that high, but he shot so well to score 46. And then 23, a little less in Game 7, but kind of had an all-around game. Had some blocks, had some assists, rebounds. Then Miami, 29, 27, 10, 31, 22, 30, 26. If this were 10 years ago, we'd be talking about that like he's LeBron James. But the scoring in this league and the skill level is so high that what used to be like scoring 20 points a game was a big deal, that kind of has to be 30 now. And then you jump to this series, 12, 28, 26, 23, 27. You needed more. I mean, how many turnovers last night? 4 turnovers, 6 in Game 4. Just bad.
This is why I say, though, he has not been bad.
But he has not been. He needed to be.
Again, you look at the other side,
close to the best player on the floor. He should be.
I don't even need
age-wise, talent-wise.
You just have to match. No,
that's what I'm saying. But Curry is the best player in the series on the other side.
Sure, but again,
and Tatum, he has not matched Curry this series. Not even close.
I know, but what I'm saying is he's been good, and he's scoring in the high 20s for the most part, with the exception of Game 1, which was terrible, except he had like 12 assists or whatever. So there was a balance there. Outside of that, you can read the numbers all you want and say 30, 31, 28. It looks good, right? But he's minus 16, minus 32. And the reason is it's not like he's going off like he was in Game 6 or Jimmy Butler was in Game 5 or Steph Curry was in Game 4. There hasn't been that next level moment where Butler almost took 2 games from you and won the series for Miami. Tatum hasn't really, and it could be fatigue. It could be a number of things. It could be injury that are weighing on him. But he just, and also he's creating a lot of double teams and things like that. So he's taking a beating in all these postseason games. But I'm waiting for that memorable one. So you're going back to Boston. I would expect going back to Boston. This is Paul Pierce's night. He's going to have 40. He's going to match LeBron. Something like that. And it just hasn't happened yet.
Or even for Brown to do that. Like either of those guys is capable of it. And like I think I said this earlier, I'll say it again. No Celtic has had a signature game. Jaylen Brown had a signature quarter. The 4th quarter of Game 1. That was elite stuff. Tatum with his playmaking, kind of the same deal in that Game 1, 4th quarter. No guy has had a complete game. They've had Tatum scored 20 in the first quarter, or Jaylen Brown scored 20 in the first quarter, and then doesn't score again until late in the 4th. and finishes with 20, like you said, you see 27 points. Whee! Awesome. He almost scored 30. Like, numbers-wise, that's what you want.
So
But you
21 came in them Q1.
But you got to look at how it happened. And exactly, to your point, there has yet to be a game where Celtic took over the game. Not a quarter, a game. Hasn't happened yet.
You asked me after Game 3, I think Jaylen Brown is winning Series MVP if the Celtics go the distance.
Yeah.
But again, then you look at Game 4 and 5, and he's had one good quarter in each, maybe. It's just, there's just not enough there.
Again, like Ime said, consistency. That's it. They just have not been consistent. And, you know, we're going to go in circles with this, so we're going to move along. But, you know, is what leads us to think that they will be consistent with it in Game 6.
All right, you got no more positivity in you, so let's hear it. Celtics, Warriors. 2 games left. Who you got? Oh, look at that. You just heard the positivity leave you.
I want Celtics in 7.
No.
But I don't believe it will happen.
Warriors in 7? Is that where you're going?
Warriors in 7. I just don't think now, the way it played out, Game 4 was there for you with Curry having a great performance. And then you could have won a Game 5 where if you just didn't play like absolute poo for like 2 quarters, you could have series over. Instead you waste both of those opportunities, and now you're like, what, hoping Curry's going to go 0 for 9 for 3 again? That's not going to happen.
Good luck.
Odds are that guy drops almost 40 points again on you. And Andrew Wiggins is feeling it. Klay Thompson has been quiet. That team's not afraid of playing on the road, and they know what it takes. They're going to come out ready to just stick the knife in and just twist and twist and twist and twist and
Jeez.
Put you to sleep. So
that's 3 twists. We're getting graphic now.
4 twists.
Twist
and twist and twist and twist. 4
Okay.
games,
All
four,
right.
4 twists. The Warriors are ready for that 4th twist. That's where the Celtics are. So yes, they have sucked the positivity out of me. I don't know. I don't even think the Celtics could they find a way? Sure, but honestly, I just think the way it's gone, it's highly unlikely you even win Game 6. So
Yeah, I just don't know how much the Celtics have left in the tank, to be honest with you. Just based on the 4th quarter in Game 4, and then this basically whole game, with the exception of the 3rd quarter where you got red hot. Yeah, forget about it. Warriors are going to win Thursday night. I think
Thursday
the game
night.
is.
So unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I mean, hey, and like some people will say, the perspective of, well, look where this team was at the beginning of the year. Look where they were in the middle of the year. Look what they accomplished. They've turned a page, blah, 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 blah. And all of that is true and great. But it's not easy to get back to this spot. Now you're here. Now you're in the finals. You needed to win it. You can't have a turnaround and be the best team in the league and then just show up and play an inconsistent finals. That's if I thought they were the worst team, the lesser team, like not ready for the moment or clearly overmatched, losing is, hey, it is what it is. You got here and you just weren't ready. They should
And
be
another
ready.
year down the drain. So you're not going to have Al Horford at his peak again. Like, I feel like go win this thing for Al, but it's just, yeah, it's trending bad.
Yeah. So we'll see. Would love to be proven wrong. So anyways, to maybe, hopefully, somehow transition away from this sad topic, we are going to do Hot and Not.
It's time for Hot.
You want to talk about hot? Please stop doing that.
Doing what?
Continue. Go ahead.
And Not.
God, is he a moron? Oh my God, he doesn't shut up.
It's so stupid.
Stupid decisions.
Dum-dums. The naughtiest knot of the year.
Oof. Suck fest. Suck sauce.
On the 360 Sports Show.
All right, Christian. Hot and not, up and down, the good, the bad, the pluses, the minuses. Let's lead off with the good things. What is on your hot list this week?
I have more hot than not this week, I think.
That's
Surprisingly.
surprising.
But you have one of mine, so I'll talk after you mention it. But I'm gonna start with Rafael Devers, which I saw this come across my screen and it flashed, and I said they better pay this guy because otherwise you're screwed if you're the Red Sox. The last 33 games that he's played in, he has a 375 average, 32 runs, 27 extra base hits, and 25 RBIs. 375 in 33 games is something ridiculous. I mean, that's like, 1/8 of a season. I, my math is obviously wrong there, but I just think, how have we not mentioned contract with Rafael Devers yet? It's just getting.
How have we not
getting a bit
mentioned it? Because
annoying.
we know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but that's kind of the problem, right?
I'm trying to do the math here on your 35. 35 because they're playing 162 this year, right?
Yeah, normal season.
So that is a solid fifth. So 1 in 5, Christian.
Pretty good.
That's
Pretty
even
good
more
sample size.
impressive.
Yeah.
That is a honking sample size. I had Bruce Cassidy landing on his feet. Today named the head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights. Good for Cassidy because, we expected him to land on his feet somewhere, somehow. And you know what's going to be beautiful? I'm not normally a Schadenfreudist. I'm going to love when the Knights come to Boston and just spank the Bruins. Because that team needs probably a coach like him. That organization needs a little bit of stability with just the turnover. They just keep changing that team. I think you get some consistency. You're going to get the accountability in all these things. I think Cassidy's a really good coach. I think the Bruins screwed this up. And I landed on his feet. So
you're in a
happy for him.
tornado over there. Thunderstorm. You got feedback.
Oh, man. I got to get a new XLR cable.
Yeah, my ears need it.
Hey, talk about thunderstorms. The thunderstorms we had the other night or morning were pretty impressive.
Yeah, that they were.
Wake up, I'm like, is it daytime? Oh, no, that's just frequent lightning. Cool. Ba-boom!
Yeah, it's loud
Explosions.
as I've ever heard thunder, that's for sure.
All right, Christian. Knots. What is your knot for the week?
I didn't even have a knot. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we
go
just
with-
spent an hour doing our knot, which was
Yeah.
the freaking Boston
yeah.
Celtics.
Honestly, that takes the cake for me. The only other thing I'll say is, I'll throw the Bruins in here because I think it's funny that Bruce Cassidy survived 6 days on the open market. You fired a coach and he went to an immediate playoff / cup contender. And if you ask me right now, Boston Bruins or Bruce Cassidy to win the next Stanley Cup, I'm going Bruce Cassidy.
Yeah, probably. Most likely.
And he gets to go to like pool parties in Vegas.
Do you think?
Not my scene, but I know Bruce Cassidy can get after it.
Do you think
he's
the
known.
Golden Knights could use a veteran centerman?
That's a good theory. It's a good theory. Maybe a right wing, David Pastrnak, young player.
How much? Oh God! Talk about like coming on here, and I know you would probably have a conniption if like the Bruins trade Pastrnak to the Golden Knights for picks.
Yeah, I'd lose it. The only player that I want to see traded to the Golden Knights, which would be hilarious for me and the rest of us watching, is Jake DeBrusk. Because then he would immediately request another trade, and it would be hilarious. But that's just for entertainment purposes. If the Bruins trade anybody to help Bruce Cassidy, who they just fired for no good reason and kept Don Sweeney, I'll be pissed. Especially when you're accumulating picks to a guy that can't draft. That's even better.
Yeah. I struggled to come up with a knot. I mean, the closest thing I could maybe say, other than the Celtics, because they just have been the needling me all week with this insanity and infuriating play. is the Phil Mickelson press conference for
Good
the
one, yeah.
LIV tour. Did you watch that? It was
Yeah,
like
it's weird.
weird and
Yeah.
awkward. It was like he was like trying to remember his rehearsed lines. He would say something
Yeah, it's
and then
PR stuff.
pause.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what do they want me to say? I'm searching for the words. It's a great opportunity to bring championship level golf to places in the world that would not experience championship level golf.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
reading from a prompter that's not there.
So maybe we can chuck that in on the not list. But we mentioned the Boston Bruins, whose season has long been done. The NHL season, we talk about the wasteland of sports. The NBA Finals will wrap up this week, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a lengthy series in the Stanley Cup Final. Tampa Bay and the Colorado Avalanche. Christian, your thoughts on this series? Are the Avs a team that is ready, or are the Lightning just going to win their third straight?
Yeah, every time I try to pick against the Lightning, they win, so I'm going to refrain from doing that. I do think the Avs are the toughest test they've faced yet. I think they're the most talented team in the league by far, but, well, I don't want to say by far. In the West, by far. In the East, Tampa Bay is right there. And I think this could be a fascinating series. However, I don't want to see Tampa win again. It's kind of aggravating because I think the series could be really good from a viewership standpoint. And me, as the viewer, I like the matchup because I think these teams are just ridiculously good. But then I'm like, if Tampa wins again, I just like, what the hell? 3 in a row now.
What are we playing the seasons for?
Yeah, it's just like it's basically like, it's like the Warriors, it's the Patriots. If you want to go there, it's that thing. And Tampa's here once again, which they got beat twice in the Rangers series and then just absolutely annihilate them 4 games in a row. So I have no idea. Every time I pick this team to lose, they just continue to win. I didn't think they'd have enough in the tank to get here again, and here they are. They have probably top 2, top 3 goalie in the league. So that's the one area where I would pick Tampa in the series because they have a very, very huge advantage in net, in my opinion. Vasilevsky is so good. And on the other side, they give up a lot of goals, but their skill can just, take over a game and win 6-4, 6-5, something like that.
I think Tampa is the deeper team. They're the more experienced team. They have been here. They have been in this moment. How will that affect Colorado? Is Colorado mentally ready to we talked about a team like Carolina? Would they be ready to go through Tampa and get to a Stanley Cup final? No.
They couldn't win a road game.
They couldn't win a road game.
Avs have done that at least.
Exactly.
Although they've made quick work of these teams. So.
But I think while the Avalanche's top line is better, I just think that Tampa is way deeper. Colorado possesses the puck better. I mean, that's the name of the game in the league now is puck possession. They have the skill. They're the better puck possessing team. But Tampa's been there before. They're going to know how to handle this moment. That nothing's going to rattle them with how a game goes. And also, like you said, the netminder and the depth. I mean, Braden Point might come back this game. I mean, Tampa's top line is just so nasty. I think they're even getting scoring from their third and fourth line. I just think Tampa's got way more depth. And in a series that probably will have a couple of hard physical, first 2 games, if that top line for the Avs starts to wear down, then it's over. It could be a series that's 2-2, and games 5 and 6 are Tampa blowouts. That's kind of how I see it going.
I wouldn't sell the Avs short though. They're pretty deep as well. And their top end talent is just, it's ridiculous. Now it's closer with Tampa because than any of the teams out west, but I think this series should go 6 or 7. I really hope it does because I think it could
6
be
or is it 7?
Yeah, it's 6 or 7. I would guess it probably goes 6.
I'm gonna say Tampa in 6.
I think the Avs. I think the Avs are ready. I feel it in my gut that the Avs are ready. That doesn't mean they are though. So I'm usually wrong.
At least we admit it. I mean, we'll see. I would love for the I am rooting for the Avalanche, but I'll believe it when I see it because I haven't felt left there ready to take the torch all year. And they, like you said, they didn't really get pushed that much. Like
No, and they're down Kadri. Kadri is out. So
yeah, I mean the adversity wasn't really there for them to, prove anything. I mean, it's like, hey, it's a double-edged sword, right? From observers, because it's like you blow doors and sweep somebody, and it's like, well, you really didn't have any, adversity, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have to go 7 with somebody, it's like,
well,
oh,
you only won in 4 games. You suck.
Yeah. It's difficult. What's the team supposed to do? Make it harder for themselves. That's what the Boston Celtics do. So we'll really see here what Colorado's made of.
And how's that altitude going to affect Tampa Bay?
That is true.
I believe Colorado has home ice in this series. So unless there's some weird All-Star game rule where they get like
no. Game 1 is tomorrow, 8 p.m. Love the 8 p.m. start time.
Yeah.
How about that?
Good job, NHL.
And it's in Colorado. So Colorado has the home ice.
Florida to Colorado is a bit of an altitude difference.
Bit?
I would say that is a bit of an altitude difference.
Let's see. Tampa Bay. Not alternate jerseys.
Well, that's what most people would type in.
Altitude. Impressively, the highest point in Tampa Bay is 48 feet above sea level.
Wow.
And then, are they in Denver?
I believe so, yep.
5,279 feet above sea level. I'd say being a mile in the sky, bit of a difference.
Yes, they are at 1,000 Chopper Circle in Denver, Colorado. Fun fact. Chopper Circle.
The more you know. Christian, before we wrap up here, we did have one question from the comment section. Not sure if you'd be able to answer this, but who is God?
I will just say this is a sports show, and I will keep it sports.
I mean, do you ever think about what if God were one of us? Maybe
Here
just
we
a
go.
stranger on the bus?
I got one for you. Top 5 God players in movies of all time.
Wait, what?
So, top 5 God movies of all time. So, like, a guy, like, for instance, my number 1 would be Bruce Almighty.
Okay, where it's Morgan Freeman as God.
Exactly.
Okay, so top 5 movie gods.
That would have been a better way to put it.
Top 5, yeah, God players. I'm like, God
players of God, actors of God.
Top 5 actors of God.
God movies.
Gotcha. God. So we're talking about Judeo-Christian Islam God, not, because there could be Greek gods. We're talking about the Western singular.
Well, this is why we do these
monotheistic God.
Yeah, these top 5s are up to your interpretation, so you can interpret however you'd like.
I mean, because Liam Neeson played Zeus, and that guy's a badass. So, I mean, that's a god, right?
Okay, there you go.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, anything you say is pretty much null and void because Kashi is in your top 5 cereals, but
it's not moving. If anything, it's only going up. I had it as 5. I think it might be 3 now.
No, it's in the top 15, but it's not 5.
Wait, you're even putting it somewhere in there, Christian. This growth.
I would say top. If you're asking me, I would say like Mac Jones level cereal. So like bottom 15 of the league, but top.
I'll be honest. I forget his name. There's one of these Twitter accounts that pretends to be like some New York Times reporter. And they tweeted out a thing yesterday that said Bill Belichick said like Mac Jones is doing things right now that Brady wasn't even doing in year 2. Like it was, and at first I'm like, did Belichick really say that? So I like went to go look. I was like, wait a minute, who tweeted this out? Oh, this guy. It's gotta be a complete fraud. And all the comments were people like saying like, where's the audio? I want to hear. Where is it? And the other half of the people are just being like, you clearly don't know who this guy is.
Leave it to Twitter or Twitch, depending on how you look at it. Kapow, right? Am I right?
Kapow. Yeah. So there you go. That is our question. That is our answer to the question. At least Christian's answer. So that is going to do it for the show here tonight. A bit of a quick one, but honestly, we're getting into a period of time where there ain't going to be much to talk about. So we're going to have to do some top 5 God actors or actresses
In movies.
in movies. Yeah, not people
Not in
who
real
pretend
life.
to be God, not false idols.
Yeah.
So, anywho, that's going to do it for us for the show. Christian, just to say it one last time before we go, NBA Finals, pick it right now.
Warriors 6.
I agree. It's a sad day.
You said Warriors 7 before.
I was hoping for 7 games, but I don't think it's going to get there.
All right.
Warriors in
Warriors
6.
6.
Sad day. We agree, and it's not good.
It's not
Anywho, that'll do it for the show. I'm Ada Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber. If you missed us live, you can catch us as a podcast on Sounder FM, wherever you get your podcasts from. Have a good night, everyone.
See you later.